Hi, my name is Nicole Maines, and this is my secret origin at ComicsOnline. Ooh.
Nicole, it's a pleasure to speak with you at San Diego Comic-Con.
Hi,
Excited
welcome back.
I know, thrilled. We're at the top of the DC booth. We have this amazing view that no one else can see but us, but still.
I love it. And I love it because it gives me a place to dump my shit.
It's helpful. It's helpful at Comic-Con. You don't even know.
It's just right off screen. So many dice.
Well, for San Diego Comic-Con, it's ComicsOnline's 25th anniversary, and we're doing something special. We're doing Secret Origins. And it's not about the secret origins of your characters, but about you and how you got started in the industry or your love of comics. So I'd just love to hear, how did you enter the world of comics? What was your entry point for this amazing industry and just the reader experience for you?
Well, I think personally, my first kind of exposure to comic books was like at the Scholastic Book Fair, because I grew up, in the woods in rural Maine, and we didn't have a local comic book shop, and so what I had for comics was whatever they had at the book fair and whatever was on TV. So watching Teen Titans and Batman the Animated Series, which is still the GOAT, was kind of that first entry point. And then professionally, it came after Supergirl. When I booked Supergirl, they had sent me a ton of Legion of Superheroes volumes to kind of pour through and post-it note and cherry pick all the stuff I could kind of gather about Null and Naltor. And then afterwards, when I started writing, that was not something that I was intending. I was just more kind of just trying to suggest, hey, this character shouldn't go away. And they were like, well, why don't you do it? I said, oh, you have misunderstood what it is I do. But here I am, doing it.
It's very rare that you get to live and embody a character in that world and then get to go and translate it to a different medium.
Yeah.
Can you talk about sort of just how you've internalized it from that perspective of just moving it to the printed page and just sort of shaping Dreamer's narrative?
Well, at this point, she is kind of transformed so much from who she was on screen. On screen, she was very, very bubbly and very energetic and happy to be there. And she's like, man, we're superheroes. That's so cool. And Dreamer in the comic books is like taking a long drag. She's like, I'm a wanted woman. I'm a war criminal at 18. I know where all the bodies are. And more importantly, where they're going to be. So it's less about him. I mean, I think it gives me a little bit of an edge having been so familiar with her. But at this point, it's changed so much that it kind of feels like a whole different character.
Well, now Dreamer has a few new friends with Secret Six.
A couple friends,
yes,
if you can call them
frenemies,
that, loosely.
But it's a very
people I'm working with and am not trying to kill just yet.
Just yet, okay, prefaced. But it's very interesting of the characters that have fallen into her circle. Yeah. How did you and DC go about selecting the characters for this iteration of Secret Six?
Well, it felt like a really natural progression for her to kind of find herself among these anti-heroes. They do good work. They do good things. They just don't do them in the way that I think Batman or Superman would have them do. Although Batman stays breaking bones, so I don't know where he gets off being so high and mighty. He's not better than us. And she was on the Suicide Squad with Black Alice originally, so or previously. So she had that connection going into it. I knew I wanted Jay Nakamura and John Kent to be there as well because they just have so much interpersonal conflict, especially coming out of Absolute Power. I wanted to make sure we were still dealing with the fallout of all of that. And then it just didn't feel like Secret Six without Catman and Deadshot. So you gotta bring one of them back and revive the other one.
Well, you're also following on the heels of Gail Simone's incredible run, and I'm sure that's a little bit daunting with how beloved that is.
It's lightning in a bottle. And I think that was one of the problems a lot of folks has was it doesn't feel like they're Secret Six. I know it's a different cast. Like Black Alice, Catman, and Deadshot are returning, but that's only half. But one of the things I wanted to make sure was like Gail's run is so beloved, and like I said, lightning in a bottle. I would kind of be kind of taken swipes at the wind if I was trying to recreate that. So I wanted to kind of do my own thing while still evoking the themes and morals of the original Secret Six, which was found family. We're doing some good, some bad, our way. We're not really caring about the big picture in the universe. We're all working towards our own ends and really examining who's a good guy, who's a bad guy, where is that line, at what point do you cross it, and are you allowed to?
And on that note, you also have the opportunity to explore that a little bit more with Jonathan Kent, which I think it's very interesting that we're getting to see Superman through someone else's perspective, but more of, the gray area that Clark doesn't get to really embody or deal with. He's it's very clear cut as to what his morality is, his ethics, but seeing how John is evolving within this universe and getting to play with these morally gray characters is very unique.
Well, Superman has such a well-known code of ethics, and it's very easy to follow. You lead with kindness. You try not to hurt anybody when you can. You certainly don't kill anybody. And for John, I think that is something that he was more than happy to live up to. But now he's been forced into a position where just through his own personal experiences, he as a hero might be drawing a different conclusion. And that's what we have a great scene in our last issue, 6, when Catman's like, look, man, you can do whatever you want, but while you're struggling to figure out what the right way to do this is, your friends are in danger and your friends are getting their rocks tumbled. So I'm going to go help. I'd like you to be there. I don't know whose side you're on, and it doesn't seem like you really know either.
Put up or shut up?
Basically. Yeah.
Well,
and I love Catman for that.
Catman's such a fun character, and I'm glad that he's getting a little bit more time in the spotlight as well. Obviously he's one of those characters that comes back and forth, so it's a little bit more of a resurgence at times. But Gail did such a great job adding some characterization and additional layers to it. I've enjoyed seeing these characters also apply different medias. I'm interested to know, as far as Secret Six, voices in your head for these characters.
Voices in my head.
Do you have any particular actors, actresses, people that you have in your mind as you're writing these characters? Because I know sometimes that really helps, especially as you've crossed mediums. But does that help your writing at all?
Sometimes. I don't know if I have specific people in mind. The only one is Amanda Waller. And I always hear CCH Pounder's voice in my head. And that's kind of my canary in the coal mine for writing her dialogue. If I play it in her voice in my head and it doesn't sound right, I have to rewrite it. And so that's a really easy way to do that. But for everyone else, not really.
Well, I appreciate the perspective, and we're so excited to see where Secret Six takes us. Do you have any other projects or any other things coming up that you'd like to share?
Yeah, we just announced that Jadzia Axelrod and I will be co-writing a new issue of Justice League coming up. So that'll be really, really fun, featuring Galaxy and Dreamer. And the rest of the team is, I don't know if we have said this yet, but Star Sapphire, Green Arrow, and Adam Strange. And we're all going on a spaceship, and we're going to Naltor.
Space mission.
Space mission!
Okay. Well, that is exciting, and that's coming up in a couple months, or do you know when it's being released?
I don't know. We're still in kind of the early stages of it, but it just got greenlit, and I was just talking to our editor, Andrea Shea, and she was like, yeah, you can talk about it. And I said, okay, good.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's all I know.
That sounds like a wonderful lineup of characters to play with.
It's going to be really fun. Well, because, Green Arrow and Dreamer have a shared Amanda Waller history that has yet to be hashed.
So it's going to get a little tense?
Maybe a little.
Okay.
Close quarters on a spaceship going, I don't know how far away Naltor is. I don't know how long it takes to get there, but
I just feel like you have to add in space to everything.
And, yes. And that's because you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a pleasure to meet you. We're so excited for everything you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned for more DC coverage at Comics Online.